Enterprise infrastructure is under pressure. Data is growing, AI expectations are rising, and traditional compute models are starting to show their limits. Today, I'm joined by Anthony Larijani from NVIDIA to talk about what this shift means for partners and how they can help customers build a stronger foundation for what comes next. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you, Sydney. It's nice to be here.
Anthony, when you look at enterprise customers today, what is really driving this need to modernize their infrastructure?
Yeah, it's a great question. So from my perspective at NVIDIA, we see a lot of converging forces coming together, creating this type of inflection point. One of the big ones is the growth of data. Every enterprise is really generating exponentially more data than ever before through multiple data sources, and trying to make sense and organize it all is a huge strain on CPU infrastructure. The second is the expectations around AI. The AI landscape is fundamentally changing. It is changing rapidly. Organizations are really looking to take advantage of the capabilities that AI can offer them, but the computing model that's required to support these new types of modern workloads is taxing on traditional CPU-only infrastructure. And that's kind of leads into the third challenge that we really see is around the shift in computing, the constraint on infrastructure as it exists today, and how do we help enterprises who want to capture this value make the transition away from computing models that they may be familiar with to more of this GPU-accelerated computing type of architecture without falling behind or running into risk for their business.
Where are organizations starting to feel the strain of CPU-only environments?
I think you see strain come through in a few really tangible places, and really it's all about arriving at value or an answer quickly for time-critical business processes, right? Being able to keep up with the demands of your organization, being able to keep pace from a competitive standpoint. It puts a tax on existing infrastructure that's in place today. We're really seeing teams and organizations become really constrained with trying to scale, traditional CPU-based architectures up to support these types of new workloads that are emerging. And this kind of trickles into another effect that we see where organizations feel the pain, and it's really around infrastructure costs. From dramatically increasing their CPU footprint to accommodate new workloads, to requiring additional cooling, data center infrastructure, all while, driving additional management overhead that's required to support these workloads, as well as really starting to place a strain on a lot of organizations. And they're looking for new options to move to a computing model that can better support their needs in modern workflows.
When performance cannot keep up, how can that begin to impact cost, efficiency, and overall business results?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think of it in a few areas, really. I think one of the first ones that comes to mind is revenue acceleration opportunities. Being unable to take advantage of new AI capabilities because of constraints to your infrastructure could put an organization at risk to rapidly adapt or rapidly address a need in the market that they want to pursue. The second big one that comes to mind is infrastructure costs. Again, compounding provisioning of CPU or traditional computing environments to try to keep pace with the demands of these new workloads. As I mentioned previously, the costs really spiral and go up as organizations try to support them. Third, another key impact that a lot of businesses see is around competitive differentiation. Being able to harness new capabilities that put them at a strategic advantage versus their competitors in the marketplace is something that's very real thing that organizations have to keep track of. Being able to quickly pivot, make decisions fast, deliver time to insight will really help organizations differentiate themselves and capture a competitive advantage. And then fourth, I think broadly this kind of ties into the others I spoke about, but really risk increases in the organization as they are missing these opportunities or unable to keep up from a business standpoint. It puts their organization at risk from not being AI ready while the rest of the marketplace is kind of leaping ahead of them. So those are some really big ways that this performance and impact and cost efficiency of existing infrastructure really plays a role in how organizations can move in today's marketplace.
When companies decide it's time to modernize, what are some key considerations they should account for?
So some of the key considerations I think they should account for, first and foremost, is really to start with a workload assessment. Understand where you are and where you're trying to go to really understand what are the shortcomings of your existing infrastructure. So profiling your applications, understanding their performance behaviors, and then thinking from that point forward, how can I partner with an organization that can deliver a framework of hardware and software that can help me accelerate these applications, be ready to support new types of workloads. And I think that's where working with a partner like NVIDIA can really help organizations understand how they can rethink the way their physical computing environment is deployed and meet the needs of their current infrastructure and as well as things into the future. And the fourth thing is leverage partner ecosystems. We have a broad ecosystem of fantastic partners that can help with scoping, understanding the workloads, professional services. We have complete full stack hardware and software strategy for helping organizations get a proven roadmap rather than starting from scratch.
So that sets the stage around modernization. Let's talk about what this means for partners. When partners are in the room with customers, what are the signals that tell them it may be time to modernize their existing infrastructure?
So some of the signals that partners can listen for really involve understanding business process constraints that customers are facing. So not just from a technical capability perspective, but what are the real impacts of not being able to deliver the results they're trying to achieve. It could be things like simulations taking too long, not enough access to resources internally, having to go outside of IT to procure additional hardware to get their work done. They could also listen for things like competitive pressures, right? Understanding and seeing what their competitors are doing with the marketplace and feeling constrained on their ability to execute in a similar fashion. And then there's also, financial signals that'll give partners a good insight that it's time to modernize their infrastructure. When they're talking about rising power costs or rising management costs associated with existing infrastructure, that's a good foot in the door for you to talk to them about what the benefits are of potentially moving to a GPU accelerated type of infrastructure from a traditional computing environment.
NVIDIA is a pioneer in accelerated computing with so many choices for customers today. What options make sense for enterprises to consider? And Anthony, what makes these platforms different and why does it matter right now?
Yeah, exactly. So NVIDIA, to your point, we have a broad range of accelerated computing platforms and options for our customers to consider really based on their needs. We have solutions for AI native organizations. We have solutions for traditional enterprises from desktop to data center. But one of the key things that I'm here to talk about or would like to talk about with your audience is really about what we have that's geared towards accelerating enterprise adoption and AI readiness for enterprises. And that's really our RTX Pro data center portfolio. So we have a portfolio of enterprise-friendly solutions that are designed to go into traditional enterprise systems that IT organizations are familiar with. They're capable of running multiple types of workloads and delivering a fantastic value proposition in terms of performance and performance per dollar when you compare to things like CPU-only infrastructure. We're seeing a number of organizations across the Fortune 500 embrace and deploy these types of systems at scale. And it really makes sense from a diversity standpoint, right? For organizations that may have well-identified and defined criteria for AI workloads that they're looking to deploy, we have a number of systems that are optimized to deliver truly best-in-class performance for these new types of AI workloads. But not every organization is at that level of maturity. So what do we have available today to help enterprises accelerate their existing applications, get AI ready? And that's going to be the RTX Pro server and the RTX Pro 6000 GPU platforms. And why now is, this makes sense for a lot of organizations because they, in short, they don't want to be left behind. A lot of organizations are sitting and looking at the landscape constantly evolving, knowing that If they wait a little bit longer to get started, they're just going to fall a little bit further behind. Building into an AI-ready infrastructure helps them understand the motion, the workloads, and what types of requirements are required from a technical standpoint, a familiarity standpoint from a services perspective, an organizational set of capabilities to go and deploy these workloads. And doing so as early as possible will really help them be in the best position going forward to harness the capabilities of modern applications and the things that AI can do for their organization.
Sometimes there is hesitation around complexity. How does bringing NVIDIA hardware and software together as one platform make it easier to deploy AI and accelerated computing in real environments?
Yeah, very important question. So when I think full stack, full stack integration, hardware and software designed to work together translates to performance improvements. Performance improvements translate directly into business outcomes. So by integrating hardware and software together, it eliminates some of the biggest risks in embracing an AI native computing platform presents to an organization, which is integration complexity. Because the hardware and software are really validated to work together, customers don't have to spend as much time setting up the physical infrastructure, troubleshooting the different components. They have a set of tools and frameworks in place that allows them to get up and running quickly. NVIDIA actually offers a number of AI software, a suite of AI software capabilities, in particular within our NVIDIA AI Enterprise platform. It includes prepackaged models designed to be deployed rapidly. We have blueprints in place to show reference workflows for how customers can go and build and deploy their own AI applications. And we also bring this together with validated designs. So full stack guidance on what the infrastructure looks like, covering everything from the servers to the networking to the software components to how to build the applications. We offer a comprehensive suite of hardware and software integrated to work together to help drive business outcomes for our customers.
When partners lead with that kind of full stack approach, how does it help customers improve performance and reduce total cost of ownership?
Full stack hardware and software integration reduces total cost of ownership by delivering improved performance, right? So improved performance of accelerated infrastructure means that you can replace more CPU-only systems or replace legacy infrastructure at a greater rate. So you no longer have to over-provision hardware that's not capable of efficiently running the workloads that you're running today and modern AI workloads. And because we're able to integrate the hardware and software together, you see a performance improvement that really yields the ability to do more with less. On the TCO side too, GPU accelerated systems not only deliver better performance, but they offer most of the time better energy efficiency for a lot of workloads. We've seen that with RTX Pro, specifically when compared to CPU-only systems. They're much more efficient at running the workloads, but because you can do it with less physical infrastructure, the cost savings in terms of energy and cooling and power infrastructure required to support AI native infrastructure is oftentimes less than what they're doing with CPUs today. And there's also the benefit I talked about previously in that the time to value is accelerated when the software and hardware is designed to work together. We've pre-validated all of the software components to run optimally on NVIDIA's accelerated computing, and that lowers maintenance, troubleshooting associated with getting the workloads to run at peak performance. That lowers, in turn, things like operational overhead and lets the IT teams focus more on driving innovation as opposed to troubleshooting or maintaining infrastructure as well.
We've talked about the immediate opportunity. Now let's zoom out to the bigger picture. There's so much focus right now around generative and agentic AI. How does modernizing your infrastructure help capture the opportunity?
So modernizing infrastructure helps to capture the generative AI, agentic AI opportunity because these types of workloads have specific infrastructure requirements that CPU-only infrastructure really can't meet. Large language models, multimodal AI models, they require massively parallel compute capability as well as substantial GPU memory. So being able to run these on-premise with predictable performance and to deliver the right experience to your employees and your customers really requires infrastructure that's designed to handle the type of processing that these applications require. And adding on top of that, as AI models become more complex, the compute requirement for these workloads really becomes firm. As organizations move from agentic or generative AI to agentic AI, the capabilities of these types of applications will really expand. Agentic AI applications need the ability to reason and plan and use tools to accomplish tasks autonomously. And all of this really does increases the amount of compute required to support them and the amount of tokens generated by these types of applications. So for organizations looking to run these types of workloads today, they need to have infrastructure in place to power them. And the best option that we have for many enterprises, we're running a mix of applications who want the ability to run AI-enabled applications like AI agents or generative AI applications, is to move to an infrastructure like the RTX Pro platform with the RTX Pro 6000 GPU. Those platforms deliver powerful AI compute. They have the ability to run modern applications, as well as almost all of the platforms that enterprises are familiar with today. They provide a good segue for organizations looking to make that first transition from traditional computing into accelerated computing.
What advantage do enterprises gain by making that investment now instead of waiting?
Sure, I think of a few reasons, right? I think the first compelling reason that comes to mind is that the learning curve really compounds. So organizations are building knowledge and expertise in how to architect and construct AI systems, how to interact with these systems, how to fine-tune the requirements of AI models to the needs of their organizations. And this is the type of learning that can be taken within an organization which will compound. The AI landscape is rapidly developing, so things are getting more complex by the day. So organizations that invest now in embracing new types of AI applications and AI-ready infrastructure will see benefits of that down the road. The second is really around infrastructure constraints are really tightening. We're seeing a lot of organizations under pressure from a existing infrastructure footprint. We're seeing the need to acquire new infrastructure based on their current requirements, face long lead times, and deploying GPU accelerated infrastructure can help consolidate some of that existing footprint that exists today and avoid costly expansion of existing infrastructure strategies without the need to expand their data centers as well. So this can alleviate a lot of concerns around throwing more money at that and expanding on a computing platform that doesn't necessarily meet the needs of today's and future workloads. And then third, I think, goes into a theme I talked about a few different questions, which is the competitive window in the landscape, right? The industry, every industry is moving towards AI-ready applications. More of the applications that they're using today are becoming AI-enabled, harnessing AI-capable features within them. Organizations are deploying things like agents, new generative AI applications, and modern workloads that span the need for GPU accelerated computing solutions. By not doing this type of investment today and understanding how they can make the shift, they run the risk of falling behind their competitors within the enterprise landscape that are embracing these solutions today and harnessing them to drive differentiation and competitive advantage.
For partners who want to start guiding customers through this shift tomorrow, what is the smartest first move?
Awesome. Yeah, there's a few steps that partners can take to really put them in the best position to help their customers make this transition. The first is understand, learn, and plan. Right. So explore the portfolio of NVIDIA solutions available on the TD SYNNEX site. Understand a couple of key use cases that you can familiarize yourself with in your customer conversations. The other thing that partners can really do is understand, what applications are your customers running today? What are the pain points that they're encountering from a business process perspective? And map that to some of the things we talked about as far as benefits of moving to a GPU accelerated architecture can deliver for them. So helping to understand how AI can accelerate and improve their operations today, as well as towards the future, understand the types of workloads that they are trying to harness. In particular, for many organizations who are running on CPU-only infrastructure today, a transition to an accelerated computing platform powered by NVIDIA's RTX Pro 6000 GPU or RTX Pro servers really provides a fantastic way for them to pivot away from traditional computing and make that first step towards accelerated computing.
If you had to leave resellers with one clear takeaway about the opportunity around accelerated computing, what would it be?
It would be that the era of AI is here. Accelerated computing is no longer a niche technology. Every organization you work with will need accelerated infrastructure to run modern workloads. If their applications today aren't AI enabled, they will be soon. CPU infrastructure cannot keep pace anymore, and it's becoming more costly and inefficient to run these new types of AI workloads on CPU-only infrastructure today. So if you're looking to talk to your customers about AI, starting with their needs, understanding the current applications they run, what their goals are from an AI perspective, and mapping that to some of the resources that are available to you on the TD SYNNEX and NVIDIA site can help put you at a good place to have that conversation with your customer. And once you're ready to have a conversation about what infrastructure makes sense for them based on their needs, I would encourage you to explore RTX Pro solutions. We think they're a fantastic fit for enterprises looking to harness the capabilities of AI today in systems that are compatible with their existing data center footprint. So that's the takeaway I'd leave for resellers. Appreciate it.
Anthony, great conversation. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Great to be here.
For partners, this is a real opportunity to help customers modernize infrastructure and unlock stronger business results. To learn more, visit the website on your screen. For the Channel Company, I'm Sydney Neely. Thanks for watching.